Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're just gonna chat a little bit and I want to just give you guys some advice if you are looking for a UX design job, if you're in the process of boot camp, just kind of honest advice as somebody who has been through the process, been through the career change, is now working as a designer. Just because I see the comments, I see the landscape, I see the LinkedIn, so I know it's tough out there. So just wanted to give you guys some advice and some thoughts if you're a job seeker. And with that, let's just get into it. So just quickly about me, if you're new, you've never seen my face before. I was an interior designer for 7+ years. That's what I went to school for. Ended up hating it, switched into UX design 3-ish years ago now. Went through boot camp, completely did the career switch, found a job, and now I'm working as a designer. Okay, first thing I want to say is that obviously we're in a very weird job market right now. I do want to say though that there has always been times like this. I think back to like 2008 where how old was I in 2008? I was, I think 13 or 14 in 2008. And that economic crisis didn't really impact me because again, I was 14. So I think a lot of people that are around my age, this is kind of feeling like quite the tech crisis, so to speak. But I just mentioned that because there are always times when the economy expands and contracts. And I feel like we're in a contraction right now, but I do feel like expansion is on the horizon. As of May 2024, some tech industries are showing signs of recovery after these past few challenging years. Some reasons for that probably are the economic outlook. A lot of economists have lowered the recession risk assessment. And despite the layoffs that you see, there is job growth. Computer occupations are projected to grow by 14%, and tech stocks are leading the broader stock market. So I'm no economist, but I feel like with everything, there's an ebb and a flow. And I feel like since we've kind of been through it the past 2 years, I do feel like there's some hope on the horizon. I'll link some articles below where I got my sources on some of this stuff, just if you want to read it for yourself and kind of put yourself at ease a little bit. Like, this stuff is very much out of our control, but if it helps, and helps me sometimes just to kind of read what the experts are saying. So that is what I recommend to you. The next piece of advice is to make sure you have the credentials. This is specifically towards people who are trying to get into UX design. And by credentials, I mean any kinds of experience, boot camp, certifications, all of that. Something that you can put on your resume to show like, yes, I have done the work of a UX designer. You know, if you guys have watched me before, I always talk about Springboard. Shout out to them for sponsoring this part of the video. They are the boot camp that I did, guys, when I made my career switch. I think their curriculum is pretty robust. You learn to speak the language of design. You're able to build the skills and test them with mentors that are actual designers themselves. They pair you with a career coach. They help you build your portfolio, craft your resume, polish your LinkedIn profile, really set yourself up to finally get that job. And then some people go through it as fast as 6 months to become a designer. Like I mentioned before, guys, we expand and contract. By the time the industry starts expanding again, that is when you want to make sure you've got your certifications done, your boot camp is complete, your resume looks great. By the time that the jobs are really out there, you want to make sure you're ready to apply. You don't want to be the person that's seeing everybody else get the job opportunities, but you didn't start soon enough and you're completely missing out. And then you're kind of scrambling. So there are 2 dates I want you to remember: September 4th and September 9th. September 4th is the deadline to get into the next cohort for Springboard's UI UX program. They only happen once a month. September 9th is the start of that cohort. So that's like the first day of school, if you can imagine. To be in that first day of school, September 4th is the date you want to make sure you get your application in, get all that stuff in beforehand. Do not be the person that misses out on the opportunity. Check out Springboard. Use the code STEPHANIEM to get $1,000 off this course or any of their courses. Do not be the person that misses out on the opportunity. Next piece of advice, which is kind of goes hand in hand with what I was just talking about, boot camps can really only get you so far because times have changed. Again, when I went through Springboard, I did have lots of years of work experience, so I did have that advantage. And I completed boot camp, had my portfolio submitted, applied to tons of jobs, and then I got myself in. That is really not going to work anymore. The landscape has already changed that quickly. You want to use this time, let's say you've completed your boot camp and you're still in that job hunt process. These are the people that I'm speaking to now, the job seekers. You want to use this time to really turn up the intensity on your skills. I'm talking about UX design challenges, design thinking, hackathons, freelance, like anything that you can do, you should be doing it. Because by the time you get into that role, fingers crossed, you will get there. You want to be fresh. Like, it took me 6 months from the time I finished my boot camp to actually getting into my job. In that 6 months, I wasn't just sitting on my hands. I mean, I was still working my horrible other job, but I wasn't sitting on my hands. I was doing other things too. So if there's any freelance projects that you can grab, friends, family, the person that owns the little tchotchke shop down the street, like whatever you can, paid, unpaid, you just want to make sure that you're still propositioning yourself as a designer. So by the time you get ready into that role, you're ready to go. All of this sounds really nice. And you're like, Stephanie, I'm doing all the things. I'm freelancing. I'm doing side projects. I finished my, like all of the things. And it still sucks because you're applying for hundreds of jobs. At that point, that is when I would start looking at alternate industries. And I've mentioned this in a few videos before. I think I'll link the one that I specifically got more into depth with this. Some ones that I can just think of on the top of my head. Healthcare, specifically telehealth platforms. A lot of those are terrible, government websites, insurance companies, ed tech, nonprofits, universities, colleges. You really want to think outside the traditional tech box, because I think a lot of us get caught up in like, okay, I want to be at a FANG, I want to be at any of these companies that are probably well known. A lot of these B2Cs, look into B2B, the businesses that do businesses with other businesses. Lots of businesses right there. Those are the kinds of places that I want you to look outside of, other than the traditional places, because you never know. Those people probably need a UX designer. The title might not say UX designer, but it is something that you can at least get your foot into the door. Okay, I know this was short, sweet, kind of quick fire rapid, but I just wanted to get you guys some quick advice, the information right away. Don't forget to use the code STEPHANIEM for $1,000 off any of the courses at Springboard. And like I say, guys, do not be the person that misses out on the opportunity to get into UX design. Check out this playlist here, UX 101, to learn more about UX and really get yourself started.